Good morning. My name is Judith Fabricant. I'm the Chief Justice of the Massachusetts Superior Court. It may be helpful to start with a little explanation of what the Superior Court is and what we do. We handle both civil and criminal cases, generally the more serious cases both in the criminal and the civil categories. We don't handle matters of family law or matters involving juveniles, except in the context of situations in which a juvenile may be a victim of a crime. On the criminal side, we have exclusive jurisdiction of charges of murder and certain other serious felonies, and we have exclusive authority to sentence to state prison. We have concurrent jurisdiction with the District Court and the Boston Municipal Court over less serious offenses. And for those cases, it is up to the prosecutor to decide whether to present the case to the grand jury for indictment to Superior Court, or whether to leave the case in the district or Boston Municipal Court. And that difference, that decision makes a major difference in how the case will play out over time and the range of possible outcomes. On the civil side, we handle a wide variety of cases, including personal injury, contract disputes, review of decisions of government agencies, and many others. Issues of racial justice arise in the full range of these cases at any stage. And we've been giving careful thought and attention to these issues for many years. We have focused on developing increasing awareness of the racial and other biases that are pervasive in our culture and learning techniques to minimize their effect. We established a judicial committee on race and implicit bias in 2015, and our committee has been very active. Among its first products was a bench card distributed to every judge to serve as a constant reminder of the need to take time to consider the role that racial and other stereotypes may have on our perception of the people who come before us. We're now in the process of updating the bench card to reflect the learning that has occurred in that time. Also beginning in 2015, we have engaged in a program of regular distribution of reading materials, podcasts, videos, and other media to stimulate thinking and discussion on topics of identity and bias. During two separate periods in 2000, just last year, we participated in the American Bar Association's 21-day challenge, which consisted of a set of daily readings or other media on the topic. The daily experience serves to keep the subject at the forefront of our minds. Our committee has compiled these materials into a resource guide, which is updated regularly and is available to all trial court personnel on the trial court's internal website. Periodically, we convene meetings to discuss these materials, exchange views and interpretations, and consider how the insights that we draw from them affect our work. Judges, clerks, and staff members have participated in these discussions. Recently, we have also called meetings on short notice to discuss current events that put racism front and center. One such meeting occurred just yesterday regarding the report recently issued by the Committee on Lawyer Well-Being of its meetings with members of affinity bar associations. Another meeting occurred a few weeks ago after the events in the Capitol, which we all felt a very strong need to process together, and which we felt had reflected in very significant part matters of racial bias. And that was certainly something we thought we needed to talk about together and think about the implications for our work. As new judges join us, we provide each of them with a set of materials to introduce the subject of implicit bias and to impress on them our commitment to justice for persons of all identities. Our new judge school, which we hold every year or two when we have a number of new judges, always includes a segment on the subject. Our committee is presently working on developing a monthly series of readings and discussion meetings specifically for new judges in their first 2 years. The issue of bias arises not just among judges and court personnel, but also among jurors. We do many jury trials in the Superior Court. Many of our judges have regularly given jury instructions on the subject in various forms. We have a committee now in the process of devising model jury instructions, which we expect to publish within the next few months. and which will include a standard instruction on this topic. Our committee has also recently conducted an inventory of the portraits and other works that are displayed in the courthouses where we sit. It's no surprise that images of white men predominate, consistent with the history of judges who have served on the court. We are brainstorming about ways to diversify these images. It's not an easy task, because the portraits most often have been donated either by the judge who retires, or the judge's family, or a local bar association, and donors have a stake in those materials being displayed, and we certainly respect our history and the history of the people who have served on our court, but we would like to find a way to diversify the images that are presented to those who come into our courtrooms. The report recently issued by the Harvard Law School regarding racial disparities in the Massachusetts criminal justice system has received particular attention in Superior Court, since it is our court that sentences to state prison. The report offers lessons for all participants at every stage in the system, beginning with the stage of initial charge, which the report identifies as the predominant factor in disparate outcomes. For judges, we don't have the decision-making at the stage of initial charge, but the report highlights opportunities for us to make targeted inquiries about the decisions of police and prosecutors in the matters that come before us when we see something that raises a question about inequities, and to consider the effects of those decisions on our own decision-making in the areas where we do have discretion. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are topics that will always be central to our efforts to deliver justice in accord with the rule of law. We are committed to continuous improvement of our understanding in this area and application of our increasing understanding in each matter before us. Thank you.